Well, it's now officially the end of summer. Yes, believe it or not, the clocks went back on the weekend. We are now into winter. It's dark all the time, and as I speak, it is pouring with rain. It's very, very miserable. But we do have something in the cricketing world to look forward to. The Ashes is getting nearer and nearer. Some of the England team are already in the Southern Hemisphere playing golf and fitting in a bit of cricket alongside it, and looking forward to the main event. Joining me today is my good friend Huw Turbervill from The Cricketer. Huw, how's your golf going?
Golf. That's cheeky, that was. Um, I haven't played golf for about 10 years, and I did think about selling my clubs the other day, and I put them on eBay, but I wasn't getting anything like the money. And I was thinking, actually, my left knee's aching a little bit, and I might have to play golf again when I give up my cricket. So I want to play one more season at least of cricket, but in terms of league cricket. But yeah, so yeah, no, golf is on the definitely on the sidelines at the moment.
Sort of joking aside, we'll start there before we get into the Ashes stuff. Once again, the spectre of golf has risen its head as Harry Brook's white ball squad have arrived in New Zealand, and of course, golf clubs are very much part of the kit bag. And he was sort of when asked about it at a press conference, sort of batted it away by saying that it was really good because the white ball squad don't really do much team bonding, and golf is a really really good way for them to do it. I thought we kind of moved away from talking about golf because it wasn't a good look, but it persists.
To be honest, I missed that. I knew there was some golf talk in Ireland. That Bethel and the team were had a couple of rounds, I think. Yeah, no, it's fine, but just I don't want to hear about it really. uh,
No,
I'm
no,
not really into golf. I mean, I love the Ryder Cup, but I want to hear them talk about cricket, not golf. I don't want to hear the Ryder Cup team talk about cricket. Although, oh, that's quite. No, I'll take that back. Actually, what I do. Rory McIlroy talking about cricket the other day was great. Look, I mean, yes, they shouldn't be talking about golf. I mean, they've lost the first two one days in New Zealand. There's a lot of criticism about the preparation for the Ashes. It's only a 3-day game against the Lions. I'd rather them play cricket. I'd rather them be playing cricket than golf.
yeah, absolutely. It's an ongoing theme of an irk of mine, and I've been moaning about it consistently on this show for longer than I really should be doing. Um,
Right.
but this obsession with it, the one that really sticks in my mind was when Jordan Cox was selected last summer, and he got a text from Brendan McCullum, and the text was more concerned with Cox's WhatsApp photo ID showing him on a golf course, and Baz says to him, "But don't forget your clubs." Um,
I was
I don't
aware of something with Cox, and also I think there might be one other. Bring your clubs and see what you like around the group or something. Yeah, yeah. That
yeah,
was kind of when it reached ahead a bit, wasn't it? I think, but I think they have tried to tone it down a bit now. I mean, Rob Key's saying he doesn't want people saying stupid stuff, and that's why he's going out to Australia, sort of keep an eye on them. And I don't know, one man's meat is another man's poison, isn't it? Though? I mean, what constitutes stupid stuff? I mean, this. You can say it. They've got this All Blacks coach working with them who
yeah,
is responsible for the no D heads.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, and I just think what makes a D head? I mean, they've said some stupid stuff over the years, but I don't mind them saying it. Let's talk away. It makes good copy. I doesn't bother me. But they said about Jaswell, the Indian opener, didn't they? Brilliant left-handed opener. That they feel that he was playing that way because he'd been watching England and Bazball and stuff. Uh, that was just about probably the most stupid thing that was said, wasn't it? So I think didn't Duckett also say it doesn't matter how many we're chasing in the fourth innings, just bring it on or something, didn't he? Or
yeah,
that
yeah.
same theory. So I suppose that's what Rob Key's talking about. But yeah, we don't want them to dry up. I mean, I think Duckett said, "I'm going to still speak." I mean, what else are they going to talk about? I mean, the weather. I mean, the weather's pretty consistent down under, isn't it? So you got
But it's kind of like a mantra of baseball. When Stuart Broad was on this show a couple of years ago, and I was asking him about what is, in his mind, what is baseball, and he was talking about basically playing cricket like you did when you were a kid and having that enthusiasm, that sort of devil may care attitude. And it seems to be continuing. I heard Harry Brook today facing the press after a very heavy ODI defeat. We've moved on from the T20s to the ODIs. Again, only a sprinkling of test players involved, but still,
Well, you say that, but and yet Richard Thompson of the ECB said this is the main preparation for the Ashes.
exactly, exactly. So why not put out a sort of a team
Oh,
more representative? But again, Brooks, we talk about these D-head comments, and he was quite relaxed about people getting out, being caught deep in the, long on and wherever else, slogging basically. And he would rather people got out that way than sort of nicking off to slip. To be honest, I'd rather they didn't get out and stuck around at the crease for a little while myself.
I've been writing about Duckett this morning. He's a once in a generation talent. He's incredible. He averages 42 at a strike rate of 86. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you play cautiously and still average 42 at a strike rate of 63 or something, I don't know. I can kind of see what Brooks saying. There's times when they haven't played the situation very well, have they? I mean, at the Oval against India, Brook played incredibly well. It's churlish to criticise him, really, isn't it? But he then played a stupid shot, and then we lost, and England lost, and then I think Duckett didn't he reverse sweep in the second innings straight to the
Yeah.
kick or something. So I don't know. I don't. I don't want to come across too much like a old git, you know. I mean, Duckett. I mean, it's not all of them, is it? It's Duckett, Brook, Crawley play with freedom, and I would say Root stopped doing that now, thank
Yeah.
goodness. And Stokes plays pretty sensibly, um, and Pope has been playing pretty sensibly. Whether he loses his place to Bethel or not, I don't know. But so it's not all of them. But there have been times when they've played the match situation really poorly. I would say that at 2023 Ashes, the declaration at Edgbaston when Root was going beautifully on the end of the first night, the Lords kamikaze batting, the Sri Lanka Test match in 2024, I think, at the Oval, albeit they'd wrapped up the series already, but that was pretty awful batting. And then in Rawalpindi, they were 112 all out. So there have been occasions when you'd like to see them more ruthless, but people love it. I've got friends who absolutely love Bazball and won't have a bad word against him or the the approach. So we'll see. But I mean, this winter's Ashes is culmination, isn't it? It's reaching that point of the kind of 3 4 year cycle that we always get to, and great things are expected.
So let's talk about, now you mentioned that Rob Keane said that this series in New Zealand, particularly the ODI section, is
Richard
preparation.
Thompson. Richard
Huh?
Thompson.
Oh,
Richard
Richard
Thompson.
Thompson, sorry, Richard Thompson
Right, yeah.
had said that this was the preparation. There's been a lot said in the press and on the various podcasts and news channels about what preparation should be for an Ashes series. Ian Botham's been quite vocal, saying they should be out there playing some state games and whatever else. Although on the Stick to Cricket podcast, we found out what Ian Botham's approach to preparation really was. And it didn't seem to involve much time in the middle, but there you go. Um, but I think he's got
Well,
a point, you know. But then Marcus Trescothick has come out today and said, well, we don't need that much preparation because so much cricket is played these days that you don't really lose the rhythm. What do you think of that?
I think that he's going to say that because he's part of the management structure. Botham and Gooch have said you need more games. As you say, I think probably Gucci took them a bit more seriously than Beefy, maybe. The two recent triumphs of England were in 86, 87 when they had 3 or 4 warm-up matches, and 2010, 11 when they had three. 2000, I mean, 2010, 11 was incredible. 3 warm-up matches, I think they won, two drew one. Perfect preparation. But yeah, the counter argument is that state sides don't put their players up anymore, or what they'll do is I mean, almost like Michael Vaughan said the other day that England are playing at the Optus Stadium in Perth on a bouncy wicket, but they're playing the warm-up game against the Lions at the Lilac Hill Stadium or ground, where the bounce is lower. So, yeah, you might face a team of who've got three spinners when you're not going to play a spinner in the test or whatever. So, I mean, 86, 87. So my first plug for my old book, The Toughest Tour, there's a chapter on every one of England's series in Australia since the war up to 2006-7. Um, I might update it one day, but Gladstone Small said, warm-up games, we were beaten by the pineapple growers of Queensland, the peanut farmers of Sydney, and the wine growers of Adelaide. I mean, they didn't actually lose all of them, but I think they used that as a bonding, didn't they? As a bonding exercise, that those games. I think, they had a good time, and then both of them at the end of it said, "Let's get serious now." So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see them play two games. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
a compromise, and they could have this 3-day Lions game, and then maybe a 4-day game against Australia A or something.
President's 11 or something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think, it's like when teams come here these days. I mean, you and I remember the days where you could wander down to your local county ground and watch the tourists take on, whether it's Essex or whoever,
yeah.
quite a
Wonderful.
regular thing. But that doesn't happen anymore. And I
Yeah.
suppose it's to say it works two ways.
When
Um,
India changed the game, didn't they? Hove, was it a couple of years ago? Was it Chelmsford? Hove or Chelmsford? It was going to be a 4-day game, and they made it a 2-day game, didn't they? Or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But you see, Australia, on the other hand, are taking a slightly different approach. And I've just noticed today that Steve Smith has been appearing in state cricket and has racked up 118 quite menacingly, with him captaining the side in Pat Cummins' absence in the first test. And then other players, Labuschagne's another one to mention, that
Three
seem
centuries.
to be, really stretching the hammies and limbering up uh,
Yeah.
for the Ashes as well.
He's hit 3 centuries. I mean, I suppose you could say about him that he wasn't guaranteed a place, but I'm pretty certain he will play now on the back of those three
Yeah,
centuries. But yeah, I mean, he needed to sort of do that in Shield cricket to state his case, didn't he? Restate his case after a couple of lean years. But yeah, Smith and Co look like they're preparing well, don't they?
yeah. So
If we go 1-0 behind, I mean, at Perth, that's we know what could easily happen as it happened in 2013-14 under Alistair Cook and also 2006-7 when they threw away that test match at Adelaide. Once I think Mark Butcher said once the boulder starts going down the hill, it's very difficult to stop it, isn't it?
one of the things I probably look forward to most of all is an Ashes series, whether it is home or away. Um, and my mind is full of notable first ball incidents uh, down under on recent tours. Now, the last time was Rory Burns getting cleaned up with the first ball of the series, but then you think back to Steve Harmison sending one down to be caught at third slip of his first ball. How important is it that England win at this game in the first test?
But I don't agree with you necessarily. It's how important it is that what happens with the first ball. But yeah, no, I mean the thing, they need to get off to a flying start. Yeah, yeah, it'd be brilliant if they could get off to a flying start, and that would then dispel all the talk that they haven't prepared properly. Because talk to Shield Berry's Telegraph cricket writers always like he hates two-test series where the tourists come and lose the first test, and then somehow they might win the second or draw the second. But it clearly exposes the lack of warm up. So if they start well and play well at Perth, I suppose that will dispel all that talk. And probably, you could argue they possibly need to capitalise as well with the absence of Pat Cummins, don't they? Because
Yeah, and
Australia,
also, do you think there's a bit of a gamble on the fitness of Jofra Archer, Ben Stokes, Mark Wood? Do you think the tactic will be to go all guns blazing in the first couple of tests, and then if they break down or need resting, then that can happen later in the series?
well, I think Vaughan said that Archer will play. I think probably will, won't he, in that first test. Um, I reckon they might try and get 3 tests out of Archer and 3 out of Wood, but there are quite a few gaps between the first and second test and the second and third test. And then last three are back to back. So you can't see Archer and Wood playing in all those three back to back matches. I'm sure they'll use Atkinson and Tongue and Cars as well, won't they?
Yeah.
Whether they pick Show Basher, we'll see. They might use Will Jacks as might pick four seamers, Stokes and Will Jacks, might they?
Yeah, I mean, they have got, I suppose, Jackson, maybe even Root can
Yep.
send a few down if required. Then
Yeah.
there's the day-night test. Is that the second test? Is a day-nighter?
It's Brisbane this year, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes, that's the second test. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Does that
Um,
throw in a new dynamic to the series?
it does, doesn't it? The seamers like the pink ball, don't they? I don't think it does
Hmm.
much, does it? And also you got that dusk period, haven't you, when suddenly the ball goes around hoops.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. It's a bit of throws a random sort of element into it, doesn't it? Or an unpredictable element, definitely. Yeah.
And England players can take their experience this summer of the Kookaburra ball into the series as well.
How many of these players played in the?
I'm
I don't know.
being
What?
naughty.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. There were four rounds of Kookaburra, and now it's rest in peace, Kookaburra, isn't it? I think it's been
Yeah.
kept into touch, isn't it? But maybe Tongue did. I don't know. Maybe not actually. Tongue played 16. No, sorry, six of the 14 Notts games, didn't he? Um, Cast has been injured most of the time, hasn't he? Archer played one match in the at Durham for Sussex. Wood hasn't played, has he? So yeah, no, they didn't. There hasn't been a lot of them in the Championship this summer, has there?
No, no. What about England's batting? You talked about those previous years, particularly 10-11. For me, was defined by the brilliance of England's top order and the fact that they all were performing regularly at top speed, led by Sir Alistair Cook at the time, but
Mm.
Jonathan Trott and the rest of them were just scoring for fun and putting big scores on early doors.
Yeah, they were in terrible trouble, weren't they, at Brisbane? And Cook and Trott batted them out. Um, and then through the course of the series, Strauss chipped in and KP Pryor, I think,
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it was brilliant. How do you assess the current top order?
strong. I mean, well, I like Duckett. I think I said
Yeah,
written about him this morning. I think they might use that on the website at some stage, the cricketer website. Crawley averages 40 plus against Australia. They're saying this Kookaburra ball might do a bit more, and he is susceptible to a bit of sideways movement, isn't he? So with that big sort of booming drive. So we're not sure about him. We're not sure about Pope. Beth thought three. I'd love to see Root get that long-weighted Test 100. Brooke looks in good form. Stokes, Jamie Smith doesn't look in good form, doesn't he? He's
mm.
been a bit of a lean trot for a little while, but the trouble is you can't, there's no, they're not going to be able to play Queensland to get him out of it. But no, I think it's strong, isn't it? I think it's pretty strong lineup, isn't it? I think, yeah, I
And
would
what about
say.
the Aussies? Are they a declining force? Are they lots being said about the age of that team?
I think well, it's shame, it is a shame about Cummings, and I wouldn't say it's if he was fit and with Hazelwood and Stark, I wouldn't say they're a declining force. I'd still say they're very strong, but I mean, they're not going to be able to go on forever, are they? They are going to need replacing soon. But and Scott Boland's 36, isn't he? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean they have got a real problem, haven't they? I think, in 4 years' time, possibly none of those will be around. Pat Cummings, mate, I don't know. I mean, was he 30, 31?
They're
Pat Cummings?
all, yeah, they're all
Yeah.
above
They're
30. Yeah.
all old to varying degrees. I think Stark 33 for Hazelwood 32, Cummings 31, I'd guess off the top of my head without checking. But yeah, so Lyon as well. So yeah, it's not inconceivable they'll need a completely new bowling attack in 4 years' time. But at the moment, very strong.
I'm going to put you on the spot now. What is your prediction for this series?
3-2 Australia, the same as Graham Swan I saw earlier in the day. Um, I see Alice Cook was saying 3-1 England, but 3-2 Australia. It's tricky. You got to go for something, haven't you?
Well, Bumble's gone 5-0 England. But I think he's just doing that because that's what Glenn McGrath does every time, isn't
He's a counterpoint to McGrath, is he? Right.
it?
The bits I enjoyed about my book were some of the stories that they told me. John Lever told me that they somebody in the crowd shouted out, "I've seen better looking heads on a crab," and Tufnell was told, "Lend me your brain, I'm building an idiot." So I don't know, was the crowds as bad as they were, or have they softened a bit? Because the
Well,
sort
it's
of
not just the crowd, is it? I mean, the press take it all very seriously as well, don't they?
yeah, they do. But the Ocker macho men of the Aussies are sort of gone really a bit, aren't they now? Other crowds a bit sort of softer and more sensitive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gow was David Gow was telling a funny story at the House of the Commons and Lords Cricket 175th dinner about how he told talking about culture or something, the cultural differences. Have you heard that one?
No.
And he said, "Oh well, there's a difference. That Australia haven't got a culture." And then he got home, and all the journalists were ringing his answering machine, Sydney Morning Herald, and he had to go and list all the like, who he loved, Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman, and
Les
of
Patterson.
course they've got a culture. I was joking. I was joking. But yeah,
Well, there's that lovely. I don't know who to attribute it to. Where it was on a banner or something. England has history. Australia has previous. Always tickled me. Always tickled me. Well, I'm sure we'll be looking forward to it and
territory
staying up
pride.
into the early hours. It's always that one where do you stay up and watch the whole thing? Probably not if you're
Yeah.
working. Do you watch the first session or do you get up extra early?
Um, so those first two tests are watchable, aren't they? And then we go back into sort of midnight mode where
Yeah.
you watch the first session and then you think, "Am I going to be brave and carry on?" Or
You watch them
do
get to lunch for the loss of maybe one wicket, and then you go to sleep, and then you wake up in the morning, and there's not much more runs on the board, and there are 9 wickets down.
yeah, yeah. Well, we haven't talked,
Um,
Darren, about the coverage, have we? Because
well,
um,
oh yes, sorry, yes, we should actually. We
well,
we
no,
we,
a,
we
a
really, really should.
broadcaster. Well, no, just a quick one, but a broadcaster who I just interviewed emailed me this morning. Not very happy because this story, TNT Sports Rob Hatch says, "Of course I can commentate on the Ashes from afar. I called Mark Cavendish's 35th win from my house." So yeah, they've BT are defensive because they're not really sending people out. And then the thing I love about the Ashes abroad is I did was loved Richie Beno, Tony Gregg, Ian Chappell, Bill Lawry, and even Mark Taylor, Ian Healy in recent times. So that the jury is out as to how good this coverage is going to be, shall we say? Let's give them the benefit. Let's keep fingers crossed for them. But there are question marks about how this is going to pan out because if you're paying that money and we're waiting all 4 years for it, we'll see, won't we? Yeah.
Well, just my nerves will be less jangled once I hear that iconic Channel 9 cricket
Or will
theme
you?
tune.
Will you hear it though?
Well, I'm hoping so. I've got it on. I've got it on
Oh well,
my.
you can play it. Yeah, you can play it
Yeah.
on your Alexa. Yeah,
Yeah. In fact, I will play out this interview with that very same theme tune.
love that. I love that song. So it's incredible. Yeah, I've got at least three versions on my um what's it called? The older Amazon Music. Got at least
Yeah.
three. Yeah.
Yeah. It just brings back memories of watching the highlights on BBC Two at 6:30 in the evening, and
Yeah.
Derek Randall and various others.
Yeah.
Uh,
What was that? 78.9 or was 82.3?
82.3, that would have been. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and the Bodyline series, of course, that was with Hugo Weaving as Douglas Jardine.
That's right.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I think it was shown maybe in 86, 87 when we were watching the Ashes, and it was shown at the same time. And although it was quite cheesy in a lot of ways, it was also brilliant as well. Yeah,
Younger viewers and listeners who were saying, "Who's Hugo Weaving?" Well, you would know Hugo from The Matrix, of course.
Matrix, and he's been in lots of stuff. He's in Slow Horses actually.
Ah,
I think he was in the fourth series. He was the villain in fourth series.
there you go.
Aussie actor, but played Douglas Jardine with a very good English accent. Very good actor. The
All
guy who
right.
played Madman didn't look a very good cricketer, but the cricket scenes are hilarious. If anybody's watching this and they have never seen it before, look it up on YouTube. I think it's all on YouTube. Absolutely incredible. The cricket scenes are brilliant.
Well,
But,
I'll put a link to it in the bio.
Harold Larwood running in like, just like somebody from a Beddington Falls game or something, Fives game. Anyway, thank you, Darren.
All right, Hugh. Great to talk. And of course, the November edition of The Cricketer is out now.